Alright guys, so today we're going to do some arts and crafts. We're going to do a little bit of grinding and cutting. We're going to do some welding as well. And then I'm also going to bleed. But the BMX frame is done, and here's how we got there. So, a couple days ago, I went to a very nice guy's house that was pretty much giving away a whole bunch of bicycles for free, so I grabbed a few things because I needed the crank set from this. So as you saw in the last video, I used the square taper bottom bracket. Well, I really wanted to use an American-style bottom bracket, and that cruiser bike had the perfect donor for it. So I left the seat post tube, knowing that it's approximately 90 degrees perpendicular with the bottom bracket. And I went ahead and cut out the old stuff. I also shortened the top tube and down tube a little bit, just to get the cranks a little bit higher off the ground. And right now I'm just using a straight piece of pipe to make sure that the bottom bracket is nice and straight. And once it is, I went ahead and just finished tack welding it in. And I welded it at some point in the video. I'm not quite sure when. But anyways, I'm just grinding off some of the old welds from what used to hold up the seat post tube the other day. And once that was all taken care of, I went ahead and just started bending up a little bit more tubing. I'm not using the best tubing bender in the world. I actually think it's just a little pipe bender. But this 5/8 mandrel die happened to be just right for me to shape out the chain stays. And I'm just making sure that they're nice and even. I don't really have the best way to measure any of this stuff, so I'm just kind of really eyeballing it and using a tape measure for some of the overall lengths. All right, well, it's looking pretty darn good. I did shorten the down tube a little bit and the top tube. We now have a 19 3/4 inch center to center top tube. And like earlier, I'm going to be cutting off some of this once I know where it all... Oh my god, I had a voice crack. Sounded like a goose. Anyways, I'm going to cut this off once I know... Oh my god, I did it again! Let me start over, hang on. When I changed out the bottom bracket from this stupid square taper one, I was desperate and in a hurry, but you know what? Let's do it once. Let's do it right. So, as I showed you guys earlier, I had this cruiser bike. Just got it today for free. But anyways, we got the American-style bottom bracket down here, and I was just bending up the chain stays. So now it's time to cut these off. You know, I thought about like slipping them in and welding it, but that looks kind of crappy. So we're going to go ahead and just take the time and grind these off. And our seat stays, or chain stays rather, are going to go right here. And then the tab to hold the axle on is actually going to come out here, I think. I'm not quite sure yet, but we'll figure it out. And if you guys have made it this far into the video, I must be doing something right. So if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. And now we're just taking a look at the frame. Now that the chain stays are done, I can take a good look at it, kind of stand back from it, and see if there's any kind of angles I like or don't like. And look down the frame to make sure that everything does look straight, and take your time to measure. And overall, I'm very happy with it. There's a few more pieces that we're going to weld on to the chain and seat stays here later on in the video. But once I'm happy with how square everything is, I'm going to go ahead and just start welding it all up. Now, like I've said before, I'm definitely not the best welder. Usually the stuff I can weld really good is all like 1/4 inch plate and, frames for cars. This 065 tubing with 035 welding wire, I find super, super difficult. So if you guys have any tips or tricks, I'd be happy to hear them out. You know, I never took a welding class. I just picked up the stinger and started sticking metal together one day, and here we are. Oh, I love how this looks. Alright, well, everything's looking really good except for one thing. I am running really low on argon, so hopefully that's going to be enough to get me through the project. And here's the wheels I got, also from that nice guy. I picked up a whole bunch of 20-inch, just generic, chrome BMX wheels, but they look the par, they look right to me. Some are in really good condition, some not so much. I also picked up these old school brakes. They are really, really neat. I've had one before, and it just looked wickedly cool. Picked up some old school handlebars. I'm really hoping the chrome is going to clean up on these. If the bike, or if the chrome really, doesn't clean up all that good, I'm going to go ahead and build this thing like a patina, like it was built 40 years ago. Picked up some GT pedals, and just all sorts of kind of good old school stuff. Well, now it's time to start on the dropouts. And a few more things on the back side of the frame, and everything should be all good. So I'm just taking this 1/8 inch plate, and I'm going to cut out some really thin cardstock. And from there, I'm going to go ahead and just do some cardboard-aided drafting and just kind of pencil it all in. You know, horseshoes and hand grenades, I'm just kind of making a generic size that I want it to be. I also like to leave it a little bit long, that way I can kind of keep trimming away at the cardboard. And I'm pretty happy with that shape. You can kind of see what I'm aiming for. So I went ahead and traced it out. And I went ahead and drilled a 1/4 inch hole first, then a 3/8. I always start with that first, because then you can take the cutoff wheel and cut the notches in. If you really wanted to get picky with it, you could just make a couple of notches that are too close to each other and then just file it out. But for a build like this, we're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for a bitchin' late 80s looking build. So if there's a little deviation there, not a big deal. As long as the axle kind of fits tight up and down inside there, that's really all that matters. So it did. So with the first one done, I'm going to go ahead and just take a look at it on the frame, see if I like the shape of it. And I do. I think it's going to be plenty strong. And a note for you guys, when you're welding through steel like this, go ahead and clamp it down, because as I was holding it like that, the drill bit caught and it just spun that piece of metal out from underneath my hand before I could even move it. So that was fun. All right, so now we're going to trace the dropout out and cut it up, and now we've got 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and just deck them real quick on my little belt sander here. And I did bevel the edges just a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and get those tacked on. And with those tacked on, I can run some 3/8 bar stock through the dropouts, and I have equal sized sockets on either side in the back. Same thing with the front, and it's on my flattest piece of concrete, so I went ahead and welded them up in there and took the bike off the jig. And that is almost a complete frame, which I think just looks wickedly cool. I can run up to a 2.40 tire in the back with no clearance issues whatsoever. And what size I'm probably going to run is probably going to be a 1.75 front and back. I think that kind of fits the old school build a little bit better than the bigger tires. But it's always nice to know that we have plenty of clearance. So with that, I think we're looking like we have a darn near complete frame. And I just like to take a really good look at it, make sure that the cranks are high enough off the ground, because I've made that mistake before. And then with that, I'm going to bend up a couple more pieces of tubing. One will be used to go from the chainstays to the seat post, and the other piece that we're going to make here in a minute is the brake mount. Let's go. Now, I didn't show it earlier in the video, but I did have a straight piece going across, and it just didn't look right. So I went ahead and just took the time and curved a little piece out. And I think that looks a lot better. Even though it's not going to be anywhere close to the tire, it kind of just fits the radius of it. So I think that was kind of a nice little touch. And with that, I've also got to weld in this little piece down here. No kickstand mount on this one. I almost did, because I did leave, as you can see here in this clip, the chain guard mount that came off the Cruiser, in case I put the chain guard on it and try to keep it, you know, really retro looking. Maybe even a little bit toy grade, like a Sears Roebuck bike, which I thought would be kind of cool, but I can cut that off later if I choose not to. So this right here is going to be the brake mount. As you can see, I'm using a 1/4 inch drill bit. And this time I'm using a vice grip to hold the piece of tubing so I don't get myself cut up again, because that was less than fun. Alright, so now with that 1/4 inch hole through there, I can go ahead and just take a little brake caliper and get it into position. The axle is in the middle of its fore and aft travel, and the brake pads were about the same thing. Once those are welded up, I went ahead and put those little brake cable mounts you see on the top tube, and that just about finishes this frame. All right, now that the frame is done, I guess that just about concludes the frame building portion. If you guys have any ideas of, you know, if you would paint it like a more of a patina style, how would you do it? What would you like to see done? And like I put in my shorts, what color scheme would you guys like to see? There's a whole bunch. I've been contemplating the aqua and the white and the pink, you know, something pretty typical 80s. But let me know in the comments below. That'd be great. I love taking suggestions. Anyways, if you made it this far, I do greatly appreciate you guys watching. This channel's over 1,500 subscribers, so that's really, really cool. I appreciate each and every one of you, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.